cup-like structure. Outside is the Bowman's capsule. That's the glomerulus. Which one is this?
Afferent.
Efferent. Right? It shows the fenestrations on the capillaries, and these cells are the podocytes. So on the glomerulus, on half of it, they've shown the podocytes, which means that that layer is the visceral layer, and this is the parietal layer. Okay. On this half of the glomerulus, they have not shown the visceral membrane, just for us to be able to see that there are the fenestrations. So in fact, even the filtration slits can be seen. But of course, in the lab, you'd be required to identify only those that are listed in the lab. What would this be? Proximal convoluted tubule. So look at the nephron here. Proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule. Now talking about this region that we see really close to the vascular end of the renal corpuscle. So the tubule comes back here, and this is that's the juxtaglomerular apparatus. So for a long time, and it's recently changed, that's why in some literature you would still find this being referred to as the distal convoluted tubule. And I think that's what I mentioned the other day. But now the newer understanding and kind of getting accepted is that this is the loop of Henle. This is the absolute distal end of the loop of Henle which forms it. So if you found two different things mentioned in two different places and you were confused, then refer to this now as the loop of Henle. That is the more acceptable, more recent way that they describe this. So here, look at these cells. Do you find that those cells are larger than these cells? Mm-hmm. These cells here and these cells here. That means the cells of the loop of Henle, which are larger on the side that they are close to the afferent arteriole, which are larger. These cells are called macular denser cells. And then cells in the wall of the afferent arteriole, in the tunica media of the afferent arteriole, these cells are called the juxtaglomerular cells. So larger cells here, larger cells here. You know the difference between these cells and the cells on the other side? These two together constitute the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Okay, we understand glomerular comes from here. Juxta means next to, near. So it's called juxtaglomerular because it's next to the juxtaglomerular apparatus. These two again will be coming back in a big way in physiology because they communicate with each other, and the juxtaglomerular cells secrete a hormone called renin, which initiates a pathway, a sequence of conversions that bring about blood pressure regulation. That's what one of the functions on the first slide was, regulation and blood pressure regulation, red blood cell production regulation. What is the hormone that regulates? Erythropoietin, that regulates synthesis of production of red blood cells, erythropoiesis. So that also is a function, that also is a regulatory function of the kidneys. All right, so these two make up the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Okay, all right, what else? So these were some of the topics that I thought you might have